Hello, welcome to HITC Sport, and Jadon Sancho is a washed-up penguin bar rapper. He is now to the sport of football what Vanilla Ice is to the art of rapping. Honestly, I could go down to the local nursing home and find an incontinent old woman. She would have more end product than him. It took him until January to score his first Bundesliga goal of the season. If I was him, I would honestly be so embarrassed. I'd honestly consider chucking my football boots in the nearest skip and applying for a job wiping the arses of kangaroos down the local zoo. At least that is now the narrative that exists in the short-termism minds of football fans right now, right? Remember that summer-long transfer saga with Manchester United? Rise above, it was such a nauseating will they, won't they summer romance. You'd swear it was scripted by the writer of Friends. Yes, I get it, that probably bored most of you to tears. I personally know Manchester United fans who were close to sticking their head in the fireplace the longer this saga went on. But now that he started slowly at Borussia Dortmund this season, suddenly he's the next overhyped English talent apparently. The modern-day Scott Sinclair. Even some Manchester United fans. Now they've won a few games to sit second in the league. Apparently they just don't need Sancho anymore. Apparently they're now above his station.
We don't need him. CHO is clear of this one-season wonder. He's finished. One of the most overrated player. Gordon is so clear. He's finished.
I'm sorry, how can you be finished at 20 years of age? He's not Macaulay Culkin. Just some child star who mysteriously disappeared after those sleepovers at the Neverland Ranch.
One of the most overrated players in the world. He's just not good enough. He didn't lose anything. He's an overhyped Aaron Lennon.
An overhyped Aaron Lennon? That's like saying Pavarotti has the singing ability of f***ing Ollie Murs.
We don't need him. Stop giving news about that bum. He's shite. No, why buy failures?
No, why buy failures? Okay then, I guess this guy is happy with the club's current transfer policy of signing 33-year-old free agents off the couch and offering contracts to wingers from Swansea.
Farmers League, where Havertz and Werner look good.
Bundesliga, a farmers league, the home of the best team in Europe. What kind of farms have you visited? Unless he's visited some sort of farm that was the victim of a radiation nuclear poisoning, where all the animals get superpowers, where the sheep can fly and the pigs have daily boxing matches. Cause this guy is just acting like buying players from Germany. It's like doing your food shopping at the bottom of a sewer.
Ah, nice, a leftover tampon and 3 liters of constipated piss. That'll do nicely for dinner tonight.
No, here's a few players recently bought from the Bundesliga. Christian Pulisic, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Leroy Sané, Roberto Firmino, Son Heung-min, Kevin De Bruyne. And yet this fella seems to think scouting players in this division is about as embarrassing as taking your cousin to the prom.
Not being funny, this guy was well overpriced. People starting to see Sancho as another overrated English talent. Just because you rip it up in the Bundesliga doesn't mean ish. Look at players in the Bundesliga go to the PL flop.
I'm sorry. If you were actually comparing Jadon Sancho to the useless bag of tubby custards that is Joe Linton's career, then please seek medical help.
Unless he's coming for 50 million, then I don't want him. He's not worth a penny more.
So essentially what Aston Villa are charging for John McGinn. No. The paycheck Mike Ashley asked for Sean Longstaff. What? This fella speaks as if it's coming out of his personal bank account. No. If Man United sign Sancho, the government aren't going to repossess your house. They're not going to force you to sleep in a Tesco car park, taking baths in the swamp and eating chunks of your own pubic hair for breakfast. It's fine. If Man United write a check for 100 million quid, let them. They're a global enterprise. It will affect your life in absolutely zero ways.
Not worth the money. Backwards, sideways player.
Okay, clearly this guy must be lost. He must think this is a conversation about Glenn Whelan or Dale Stephens. Because backways, a sideways player. Since when is 63 goals and 63 assists by the age of 20 considered a backwards player? You understand the definition of the word backwards?
J-Link's 2 loading.
Please tell me that you don't think Jadon Sancho is Jesse Lingard Part 2? That's like saying a cinematic masterpiece like The Dark Knight is a sequel to the B movie. Lingard is a guy who has a more prolific career on goddamn Snapchat than he does the football pitch. So comparing him to Sancho, you might as well compare a home-cooked shepherd's pie to a plate of uncooked pig snout.
Honestly, TBT, we don't need him anymore. Not worth the hype. Another German fraud incoming.
No, he's English. Thank God this guy wasn't born in wartime, so he'd constantly be shooting his own soldiers in the face.
He's not that good. You'll see when he's in the Prem. He's not got the fight. That's why Pep him off.
Am I the only one who sees the irony that this was written by a Man City fan whose name is Michael Johnson, a midfielder billed as the next Stevie G, only to wind up spending his 20s in Burger King?
I'd rather get Neto over Sancho any day. Neto is better than Sancho. I prefer Pedro Neto to Sancho.
Prefer him to what? Clean your car, deliver your Chinese food, because you cannot, in all sane mind and body, in good healthy conscience, prefer Pedro Neto to play football as a career over Jadon Sancho. Not unless you have a brain made of toothpaste. Listen, yes, English media are always quick to hype up anything with an English passport, because right now Emile Smith-Rowe is apparently the Croydon Zidane after 3 goddamn starts for Arsenal. But Sancho is the real deal. In 44 games last season, he registered 20 goals and 20 assists, meaning in less than 50 games of football, he was directly responsible for 40 goals. Callum Hudson-Odoi, who is the same age as Sancho and also attracting interest from the Bundesliga, by contrast, his stats last season were 4 goals and 7 assists in 35 goddamn games. I'm surprised he can even look his Twitter following in the eye after that. Imagine willing to accept a paycheck of £140,000 a week when you chip in with 1 goal every 12 weeks. Lads, Sancho was a goddamn teenager last season. When Cristiano Ronaldo was his age, he was scoring just 12 goals and registering 9 assists in 47 matches. So where is this idea that he's overhyped?
Oh, Germany's a farmers league.
Are we forgetting there's currently 4 German teams in the Champions League last 16? One of them dumped out Man United. Yes, he's had an inconsistent start to the season, but the way some people talk about him, you'd assume he's been about as much use as a chunk of used toilet paper. Yes, it's true, Dortmund went off the boil after the first week of November, when they bottled a chance to go top of the league, losing 3-2 at home to Bayern Munich. Clearly that melted their confidence and self-belief, because they've since lost 3 times in the league, including 5 at home to Stuttgart, which cost Lucien Favre's job. Yes, it might have taken him until January to score a Bundesliga goal, but 2 goals in the Champions League and a total of 9 assists in all competitions, meaning that he's being directly responsible for 14 goals in 90 games of football. Mason Greenwood, by contrast, the golden boy of Old Trafford, a future Ballon d'Or elect apparently, he has 3 goals and 3 assists in 17 matches. But you don't hear Man United fans piping up to call him an overweighted bag of sweat. Apparently Man United fans think they don't need him now.
Oh, why would we want him? We're top of the league.
I'm sorry, is it just me who remembers that it took you until 5 days before Christmas to register your 2nd goal from open play at Old Trafford? You stick 6 goals past an actual child in Leeds United's net and scrape 1 goal wins over West Brom, Sheffield United, Wolves and Aston Villa, and suddenly you no longer need arguably one of the top 3 underage stars in world football. Apparently all is saved because you splashed out on Amad Diallo, an unknown teenage kid from Atalanta, a guy who was literally born 1 week after the 2002 World Cup, a fella who could very well wind up being the Ivorian version of Bebe. And am I the only one who remembers that about 12 weeks ago, you were so desperate for a right winger, you were threatening to raid Watford's squad of misfits. You know, the same place which unironically pays Tom Cleverley a weekly wage. And don't even get me started on Daniel James. Yes, he's quick, but good Christ, his shooting accuracy is on par with a senile Billy Goat. Me, an Irish champion dwelling in a swamp. Even I would score more goals in this Manchester United team than that Welsh kid. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time I've outperformed James. In 5 years, Sancho's going to be one of the top players in Europe, contesting Champions League semi-finals every other season, scoring 25 goals a year, dipping in with about 10 assists on an annual basis. He is the next generation of world-class footballing ability coming through, and honestly, will be one of the few English players actually worth the hype. And yes, I realize this video makes me sound like I squeezed him out of my own vagina. Yes, this probably sounds like a 10-minute love letter towards my child. Oh, don't worry, I don't go to bed rifling through eBay to buy jars of his sweat. I'm not planning to fly to Germany to sniff the seats of Ubers he might have been in. No, I don't particularly like Sancho. As a player, yes, but don't worry, as a person, you could question certain things. Like, why the hell in a sheep's left nostril was this guy able to fly from Germany to England to attend Tammy Abraham's goddamn birthday party last Halloween, when I haven't set foot on Irish soil since 2019? It's been so long I can't even remember what Dublin Airport looks like. For all I know, it might currently cease to exist. There could have been a nuclear explosion last summer, turning everyone into subhuman zombies, and I wouldn't know any difference. The other day, I actually forgot what the Kilkenny was. And yet this highly paid joker thinks he can swan about in a private jet just because Tammy Abraham turned 23. As if 23 is some milestone achievement. I didn't even get a birthday card for my 23rd birthday. It was just another day of my mother crying and wishing she took the pill. And yes, his dip in form is probably due to the fact that he had his heart set on a return to Manchester to play with his England teammates, to live next door to childhood pal Phil Foden. Ultimately, this guy wanted to be in the Premier League this season, because I'm pretty sure he didn't soak his mattress every night with childhood dreams of growing up to take on Augsburg and Union Berlin every Friday night. But he needs to be careful. I remember when Saido Berahino soaked so much at West Brom after his failed move to Tottenham in 2015 that he actually forgot how to control his feet. It's 5 years later and he still can't remember. Once Sancho gets his head screwed back on, then there's a supremely talented top-class footballer in there. No, he's not the next Scott Sinclair, and trust me, Man United fans, you are not too good for Jadon Sancho. Anyway, that's the end of the last time in the comments below. What do you think? If you're a Man United fan, do you want Sancho? Is he overrated? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and as always, talk to you in a while.